This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our Farming Simulator 22 Map for Suppressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Stone Valley 22 again. But before that, this video is brought to you by Mighty Mouse 05 and Mark DuPont. Thank you for being farm barons. So I say again, because Stone Valley 22 originally released for Farm Sim 22 way back in 2022. And that release was for all platforms. This release, though, is available for PC players only. The console version of the map is still available. It is still the same version that was released way back in August of 2022. But now in 2024, we have a PC-only version of the map with some PC-specific features that have been added. So this map can be found over at the Farming Simulator 22 Mod Hub and the in-game downloadable content menu. And as I said, as of the 1.1.0.0 release, this version of Stone Valley 22 is for PC players only. Now you will be able to find a link down in the description below to download this map. And do note, when you do download this map, you will also need to download the pickup header. That is a mod that is available over on the Giants Mod Hub. The pickup header is not listed as a required mod, but it will be required for you to download and activate in order to load this up. And the reason I point this out is if you wish to load this map up on a dedicated server, you will need to know that will require the pickup header mod. You will need to download that and add that to your server as well, because the server will not tell you what required mod is missing. It will just say not all mods are available, and it will fail to start the server. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of the description. This map is based in Illinois, in America. It was owned by one farmer, but unfortunately, due to demand of farming, the owner of the farm has decided that it was way too much for him, and he left all his equipment out in the fields and decided to up and leave. An interesting story there. So you will start off in Stone Valley Farm. You will have to finish what he has started. You'll have to finish the remaining combining and cultivating, also the seeding of canola, and get Stone Valley Farm back up and running. Again, unfortunately, the farmer has sold his land, so all you have to do is rebuy it back for further progress. Now, the map author goes and lists that this map was tested with over 200 mods and works with base game FS22 Precision Farming. In fact, this map does have the US soil map that is included with the Precision Farming mod added to it. All fields are real life with waterways. Some areas are fictional. New farmer, farm manager, and start from scratch has been added. I'll explain that here in a little bit. Auction David custom lighting. All new redesigned farm models by Lancy Boy himself. Latitude coordinates match the same as Illinois, so that is going to be with respect to lighting and the seasonal cycles. Waterways do flood, so be careful. 31 fields with waterways, which may flood. 2 placeable areas, 9 selling points, 2 production area, and land must be bought. Seasonal visuals, collectibles, Illinois license plates, land must be purchased before animals can be used. And then the changelog, which is for version 1.1.0.0, which is the initial release here on the PC version, says premium expansion DLC crops work, carrots, parsnips, and red beets. Mud mod has been added for PC. Dry corn has been added. Anhydrious has been added. Propane, as well as grazing animal support. Cow capacity has been increased to 500. Sheep, straw, and the sheep will require straw and produce manure with that particular extension. The Gowl DLC pack has been updated. Not really sure what that means. New animals have been added with a specific type of cow, I believe. Enhanced animal system support has been added. Clover has been removed to make way for the new DLC crops, but rye has been added, as well as flax, alfalfa. Corn stalks have been added as cow pig food, so we will need to check the animal food requirements a little bit later. 40 modding, Erie Agri modding, custom slurry textures have been added. Bullet bill crop textures in wheat, canola, barley, and oats. Benji FS maize crops textures have been added. Soybeans have been made into rows. Alfalfa silage clamps have also been added. And all animal farm areas are now sellable. But if you want to sell all animal farm areas, you will have to sell the roller doors as well to make the animal farm areas clear, because now I have set the lights and roller doors up in the XML. So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit as well, because I had something interesting happen over at the pig farm. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Workshop has been removed and it says new save is needed. Definitely a new save is needed because this is a whole new version of the map. So if you were playing the cross platform version of the map, you're going to have to download a whole different map. It's going to be a whole new game save. Let's go ahead and load on in. And as I said, we will need to make sure that we have the pickup header pack activated because it is flagged as a required mod. In addition to that mod, we are going to be using animal field info, additional game settings, animal food overview, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. Well, I'll tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find that actually none of the farms are built out. In addition, you do not own any land, nor do you have any starting machinery in those alternate game modes. I found that rather interesting because typically in Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, the main farm might be void of buildings, but on this map, all the farms are completely empty in those alternate game modes. And that's what I think the description means, where it says that Farm Manager and Start from Scratch have been added. I believe what he means is basically, if you start those up, you're going to find all the farms completely void of buildings. You're going to be able to build things out how you want. When we load in for the very first time, we start here right at the entry to Stone Valley Farm. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. If you are familiar with Stone Valley Farm all platform version, well, the PDA is going to look very similar because I do not believe that it has really been changed in any significant way. We do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22, in addition to the premium expansion crops, as well as flax, rye, and alfalfa. If we go ahead and take a look at our lands overview, you will see that we start up by owning Field 11 or Farmland ID 11. In addition, we also own the Roads Network, and that is going to be Farmland ID 63. The main starting farm is Farmland ID 39. We do not own that at the start, but that did not prevent me from being able to sell those buildings if I wanted to. It's going to be $189,000 to buy that. In addition, we have a couple other farms available. This is Farmland ID 30. Now, do note when you buy this particular farm, which is going to be the pig farm, you're also going to get this area up here in the extreme northeast corner of the map. That is Field 31. You're going to be able to buy the pig farm for a whopping $929,000. We also have a sheep farm here at Farmland ID 28 for $214,000. We have a cow farm at Farmland ID 29 for $461,000 as well. Now, you will find other areas on the map that we can buy. For example, this is the spinnery, Farmland ID 40. We also have Farmland ID 36 here. Actually, I think that's the spinnery. This is just an AI deco farm. I'm not really sure why we can buy it, because even if we do buy it, we can't sell any of the buildings on there. We have the ability to buy right here. We have kind of a sell point. We can buy that as well. And there we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, and if those farmlands include any fields. Then lastly, how much is that given farmland going to cost us? Let's go ahead and then cross-reference that with the field calculator screen. And here we can see the specific sizes of each particular field. Let's go ahead and see how the U.S. soil map is being applied to these fields. We have kind of bands of loamy sand, sandy loam, and silty clay. Big band of that silty clay coming across field 1, 26, 6, 7, and 19. Then we have another band of that kind of running through 3, 24, field 9 as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at our crop counter. We do have a custom crop counter that is a part of this particular map. In addition to that, we do have then custom growth schedules for the flax, rye, and alfalfa. Taking a look at our prices screen, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops that are available to us in Farm Sim 22 on this map, as well as our eggs, wool, and milk, and silage, hay, straw, and grass. As we move down through our base game production items, we once again do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game production items as well. Now, what is kind of interesting in this listing is things are showing up a little bit out of order. So we do have the ability to buy bulk lime at Better Earth products. We do not have the ability to get rid of our stones. So if we do play with stones enabled, we will need to put our own stone sell point down. And then we have dry corn as a fill type, corn stalks as a fill type, as well as propane and anhydrous. And you will need proper equipment to transport your propane and anhydrous. Then we have our red beets, carrots, and parsnips. Typically, they show up further down the list. We have our flax straw, flax, alfalfa fermented, regular alfalfa, alfalfa hay, rye. Then we have canola listed again. Really don't know why we have canola listed way down here. Notice there's nothing here listed as sell points, but we do have canola listed up here where we would normally expect it. Now, I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is supposed to be listed as canola straw or something like that, given the fact that we have then soybean straw listed right below it. So maybe we will get a map update to correct the wording here and make it a little less confusing as to why we have a second entry for canola. With respect to our platinum expansion production items, we do not have the ability to sell any of the platinum expansion production items built into this map, so you will want to put down your own sell point if you are using those. But if you are using the premium production, well, we do have the ability to sell those at several different sell points. Then lastly, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, we do have the ability to get rid of our separated manure. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we start out with a small list of starting equipment. It's all very well maintained, 0 operating hours, and none of it is leased. We do not have any animals at the start. We do have contracts available. We do not own any production chains at the start. And we also do indeed have the collectibles listed. So this map does make use of the Elm Creek collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the John Deere 4755, 7810, and Massey Ferguson 3670 medium tractors. We've got our Dutes Farr top liner 4090H harvester that's paired up with the 4090H grain header and header trailer. We've got our 1986 pickup truck as well as the Welker DK 115 trailer. We have the Rave EG39 cultivator as well as the Nordstein HK25 NS 3030 seeder and Power Hero combination. Then we wrap it all up with a pair of 750 kilogram front weights. Taking a look at our mods and DLCs, you'll see that we do have the required mod of the pickup header listed, and this is going to be needed in order to pick up the flax as well as the various additional straw fill types. And then we do have a propane IBC tank available here listed as a custom fill type item for the map itself. Let's go ahead and make our way into the starting farm here. Again, we do not own this land at the start, but that is not going to prevent us from being able to do various things with it. In fact, we have our sleep trigger located right here at the side door. We have custom sheds and buildings that we can make use of even though we do not own the land. And like I said, you will be able to sell these buildings on this farm if you want to. Here we have our base game silos over a dump and fill point. We do have a small fuel tank here as well. We will need to put fuel in it as it is empty. I was able to sell everything here on this farm. As I mentioned already, I didn't need to own the farmland itself, but that is obviously something that you will want to do. You want to keep the up and up as far as owning the land for which you are using. And then as the description said, we've got our one tractor set up here to cultivate the soil. We've got our harvester and another tractor set up out there, kind of literally in the middle of the harvesting process. Now let's go ahead and buy these other farmlands. So when we do get around to doing our aerial tour, we'll be able to see those triggers and talk about these things. And let's go ahead and buy this one as well. Now, one thing that you will notice is we do not have the animal information popping up here. And that was pretty much my fault. Sorry about that. I don't know why our house, sometimes these things get turned off. But at any rate, we have our cow farm here at farmland 29. We have our pigs, our sheep, sorry, up here at 28. We have our pigs down here at 30. And I was initially going to say we don't have the trigger or the hotspot icon showing up for the animals, but it seems like it was just somehow disabled for this particular game save. Let's get a little altitude and take a quick look around here. Overall, I think the map looks great with respect to kind of rural America. It's definitely believable to be rural America, like how a lot of these farms are set up. Indeed, there we have our starting arable farm down below. Now, with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such, we have one production item built into the map. Now, I know the description said there were 2 productions, but when I run the console command to list all productions on the map, I only get one to show up, and that is the spinnery. That is located right here. We do need to buy the land. Once we buy the land, we will then see the various triggers pop up. Let's go ahead and do that. So now we have our dump point. We have our interactive icon. Now what we do not see is the markers as far as where the pallets are going to spawn at. I would assume they're going to spawn here at the roll top doors. Across the street from that, we do have a grain sell point. We make our way down to the south. We've got this AI player farm. This is a bit of farmland I mentioned that we can buy, and I did buy it, and I thought, oh, maybe we can sell the buildings here and make use of this particular area, but I was not able to sell the buildings. So I'm not really sure why we would buy this, other than to quite possibly role play a different farmhouse than what we had at one of the other farms. To make our way down to the southwest corner of the map. And while we do that, we'll just kind of come over here. This is one of those waterways that was mentioned in the description that will flood when it rains. So just be cautious about that. We have small town America. And coming down Main Street, we have to our right a fuel station. And then in behind the fuel station, we have Mama Joe's Diner as a sell point. The fuel station is also where we are going to be buying our propane. So that is going to be the propane buy point as well. Got our grocery store sell point. And anyone looking maybe get some fish. I did see some fish swimming here under the bridge. And a nice little detail that has been added to the map. There you go. I know there's some folks that love fish being added to rivers and streams on the map. Here we have our vehicle dealer. Now I am going to forego the drive around because I feel that we're going to hit everything adequately in the flyover portion of the video. But I do want to go ahead and get our Mahindra and see where things spawn in at. So pretty decent spawn in size for vehicles and machinery. Very wide exit, so we'll be able to get out of the shop without too much of a hassle. And then the roads, other than the bridge, right, are going to be fairly wide. We don't have things right up at the edge of the roads in order to prevent us from being able to get bigger machinery down the road. But again, this bridge does have collisions on the side beams. So you may want to try to avoid bridges if you've got some wider machinery. We do have our dealer trigger located right here. And it is marked off. Now, while I said I was going to forego the drive around, I do want to check one thing. And that is if the Earth Fruits buy point is only going to sell us lime. So we have the ability of Better Earth products to buy seed, fertilizer, lime, manure. So that is the answer to that. Down here we can buy our Anhydrious. And again, you will need a special transport trailer for Anhydrious. And anyone that is not aware, Anhydrious is used to apply basically nitrogen to your soil. It's a very concentrated form of nitrogen, and it's often used for high nitrogen crops like corn. I will leave down below in the description links to some Anhydrous specific mods if you don't already have those that are going to be helpful for applying Anhydrous and transporting Anhydrous to and from the fields. Now this is a grain sell point. It is the mill. There's the sell point right there. It is purchasable land. And I'm not really sure what the purpose of buying this land is, because when we do buy it, it is not going to then add production at all. There we see we own the spinnery. That's it. Maybe we'll be able to put other things down here. But I thought, oh, maybe we can buy this and suddenly it turns into a flour mill. Or maybe we can buy it and then sell the structure and then have something available to place. But no, it's just a sell point. Another grain sell point located right here. And now we're coming up to our pig farm. Now this bridge isn't too bad. We should be able to come through here with some decent wide machinery. So with respect to the pig farm, we got some more great custom buildings. And I was able to sell all of these structures without any hassle whatsoever. But what I was running into an issue with was the pig area. So we have our food trough. We have our water trough area. And when I sold the pig area, these lights, okay, these lights, they remained. So they were just kind of floating in space. This roll down door remained, and this white control box remained. But everything else went away. And I don't know, maybe I did something wrong. We have 400 sheep, or not sheep, 400 pigs available in here. Let's go ahead and get those. But the way I sold it, and I won't be able to sell it now because I have a pig in, but I went into build mode. And I basically selected the fence here. And a cell came up. I hit sell. Presto, the building went away. But the light stayed. The roll down door stayed. That little white box stayed. And I couldn't get rid of those no matter what I tried. We also have a fuel point storage there. And there we go. We have our biomass heating plant cell point over here. Now these grain bins, they are deco bins. I did buy this large field just to see if we would get triggers pop up in order to be able to use these bins. But I do believe that these are deco bins only. There we have our starting farm off in the distance. As we continue to make our way up the western side of the map, we will be giving the map a full point with the ability to sell all of our basic crops, animal outputs, and production points. And here we have our sheep farm. I was able to sell everything here at the sheep farm without any hassle whatsoever. So we have fuel. We have our sheep delivery point for 100. We have our food trough in here. Our straw trigger in here. Remember, you will need to put down your manure heap if you wish to get manure from these sheep. We have our wool spawn point. And we possibly have another food trough out here as well. A little interesting. But again, I really like these kind of farm layouts. There's not a whole lot of buildings going on. I like how we've got the roads or the driveways and lanes set up, and it'd be some realistic as to where you'd be driving machinery and such. You know, we don't just have a giant pad of gravel. So we make our way across the northern edge of the map. We have another AI buyable farmland right here. Again, maybe you're going to buy that to kind of roleplay a different farmhouse. We've got our Earth Fruits buy point just in front of us up here to the north. We also then have North Valley Farmers Storage. There's better Earth Fruits. We have bales, and we have our animal dealer. So we have our lime, seed, and fertilizer and manure buy point there. We have our animal dealer trigger there. And then around the side here, we have our bale sell point. And then let's make our way over to the final farm, the cow farm. While we're coming over here, buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique as well as ground textures. I'm going to be giving the map a full point there as well. Let's go ahead and just take a quick gander at these ground textures. We have fairly standard FS22 ground textures here. A couple different variants of gravel. We have then our forest ground, some grass. We have our asphalt, concrete, and dirt. And then we've got fairly standard plant textures as well. We do have in build mode several custom buildings that are built into the map. So if you do start this up in a farm manager or start from scratch, and again, all of these farms that we've seen are empty of structures at that point, then we can just kind of build them out with these custom structures. We do have custom 3-sided silage bunker there. We will need to put down our own farmhouses. We have the spinnery listed here under production. Various sell points that are a part of the map are also listed down here. Base game, greenhouses, orchards, generators. And then as far as animal areas, all of these are base game. We do not have any of the Stone Valley custom animal areas that we can put down. So here at the cow farm, we do have our cow buy point. This has been reconfigured to hold 500 cows, as the description said. There are a food trough in there. We have then our straw trigger through here. We have a diesel point. On the side, we have our milk trigger. We have our slurry pit off side a little bit. We have 2 3-sided silage bunkers. Then over here, we just have an empty plot of land. I gotta think there maybe was a building here, possibly in the all platforms version of the map. I honestly remember very, very little of the all platforms version of the map, but it does feel like maybe we're missing a building here that we possibly had in that other map. And I was also able to sell all of the building structures that are down here on this farm as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at our animal food overview screen. This is going to show us our animal food requirements for all the various animals. With respect to cows, for 100% food effectiveness, we can feed them total mixed rations, silage, sugar beet cut, or lettuce. For our hay entry, we can take hay or alfalfa hay. Grass, well, it's going to take corn stalks, grass, alfalfa hay, or soybean straw. And then for protein, it's going to be sunflowers or corn. Sheep, we're going to be TMR, hay, alfalfa hay, or silage. Grass, corn stalks, alfalfa hay, or soybean straw for grass. Then they have a grain entry for a sheep in corn or barley. Pigs are going to be corn, sorghum, silage. TMR are pig food for the base. Grain is going to be wheat, barley, oat, or pig food. Root crops, we got red beets, parsnips, carrots, potatoes, sugar beet cut, lettuce, tomatoes, carrots, parsnips, red beets repeated, and then pig food as well. Protein, corn stalks, soybean, canola, sunflowers, soybean straw, and pig food. Horses, even though we don't have horses pre-placed, if we do put a horse pasture down, horses are going to take TMR, hay, alfalfa, hay, and silage. Grass is going to be corn stalks, grass, alfalfa, hay, and soybean straw. Base food for our horses are going to be oats, sorghum, corn, and strawberries. And then we have, interesting enough, 2 entries of root crops. We have potatoes, sugar beet cut, red beets, carrots, parsnips, red beets. Once again, they are duplicated again. And then we also have our own horse crop roots entry here. So that might be something that needs to be cleaned up in possibly a future update as well. Chickens, we have wheat, barley, corn, sorghum, sunflowers, potatoes, lettuce, tomatoes, sugar beet cut, TMR, silage, and strawberries. So very, very custom changes with respect to animal food requirements available on this particular map. So the last scoring metric is going to be player interactive areas being clearly marked. We're going to give the map 3/4 of a point there because we were lacking the marker indicators down here at the spinnery. And then overall, I'm a little confused on the description saying that there were 2 production points, whereas I was only really able to find and locate 1, and there was only 1 listed when we go and pull up all of the production points. So in fact, let's go ahead and I want to show you how I do that. I go GS production points, and then I tab over to list, and this lists out all the production points built into the map. It only lists 1 production point spinnery, and that is all that is listed. So I'm really not sure where 2 production points are coming, unless it's just something that's coming over from a copy and paste of the console version of the map. So that's going to give this map a score of 4.5 out of 5. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, specific to the PC release of Stone Valley 22. Is it better than the all platforms release that we had back in 2022? I don't know. I'll let you decide and tell me down in the description. Until next time, happy farming.